Well, hello there. Welcome. It's SVPod. Stanford Steve is here. Red is in the building.
Stay inside.
He was out, and then Oscar came in, and he was like, that's my guy. I am freckly as hell. Summer Scotty is in the building. Flops.
Trunks.
Getting chirped nonstop. I should be an ambassador for the brand. I am at this point. I'm an official Vilebrequin ambassador, whether they know it or not. We are moving product on the Delmarva.
I had a guy come up to me at Starbucks Saturday afternoon. He's like, hey, tell us SVP, thanks a lot. We're kind of the same size. I had to get a 5X.
Guy came up to me on the beach, told me I got a 5XL. I'm like, he was a bigger cat. I hope you enjoy the vibrant colors.
I was like, did you get the free towel with the purchase over $700?
That's right. They look after their folks, man. I just want to tell you it's Summer Scotty, which means we call the card. The card.
You don't want to know what I got. Everything.
Good, because you're going to carry the pod. I got nothing. Well, holy shit! Look at the list Steve has.
It's been a while. I haven't seen you.
All right. Well, I got nothing. Except this. Happy 4th let us be the last to wish you. You were at the beach. I was at the beach. The whole world was at the beach. It was it had reached the point of critical mass, like borderline too many people. First time I ever felt that way. But I came home Sunday, left early, try to manage the situation, and I wanted to avoid, right, for those of you that aren't in this part of the world, if you're in the D.C. area, Philly, Baltimore, Philly people might go to the shore, the Jersey Shore.
West Virginia.
Man's out there lumberjacking. Go down to the beach. Ocean City, Bethany, Dewey, Rehoboth, Lewes, whatever you prefer. You got to get home from there, brother. The world's at the beach. You got to leave early. Late in the day, there was like an 18-mile backup at the Bay Bridge. That's what I saw.
On the 4th or the 6th?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday coming home, 18-mile. So there's this one traffic light on the 404 that you must avoid. So I did. But, buddy, I was in Felton, Delaware. I've never been there in my life. I was in parts of Delaware I've never before been in. We went through Felton. My sons are with me, and they're chirping me from the back like, Dad, why did you go this way? You don't even know where you are. I'm like, no, I don't need to know where I am. I just follow the thing. I'm getting chirped, and then we run into a lot of traffic. Why'd you even go this way? Like, just play your game.
Yeah, get back on the iPad.
Play your retro bowl. Leave me alone. Stop at McDonald's. You guys can smash a Happy Meal, and then I bet we're good, and we were.
It's quiet then.
But I got to tell you, Felton, Delaware, on 13 up there by, I don't even know where the hell I was. Saw a farmland I'd never seen before.
Yeah, a lot of it looks the same, too.
It's basically all
13, that's where the suburban propane is? Just the thing all by itself?
Might be.
Yeah. I took them a different way also, but I will trust in Waze. Waze will get me there. Now, there was a good 25, 30-minute stretch where I was like, we're not really eating up the mileage here, but the time was all right.
You made it in what?
Like 3:15 with the McDonald's stop. I will take that.
That's Hall of Fame. That is medal stand. What day?
Sunday.
What time?
8. On the road at like 8. I forget.
It needs to start with an 8.
Oh, hell yeah. And next time?
7.
Yeah.
All right.
I can get up at 7 a.m. and drive.
Just to know that when you get to the other side of the bridge, you feel like it's a monumental accomplishment.
Yeah, but I'm hands are on the wheel tight because you know that thing's going to build. You know the Beltway.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the whole thing. You're like, all right, get to the bridge. And then you got to go 95 to the Beltway. Oh, man, it's wretched.
Yeah, but there's a stretch there post-bridge before you get to the Beltway where I believe the speed limit, you might as well be in West Texas.
Mach 10.
Unlimited. It's like NIL on the portal. There are no cops and there are no rules.
But you know what?
Do what you like.
The people just throw old mattresses, like drive down the highway. And the stuff you see on the side of the highway is mesmerizing.
Dead deer.
Oh, there's plenty of those.
Queen size.
Queen size.
A shoe. A shoe.
Yeah.
The fuck happened to the other shoe? Where's the leg that was in the... How'd that happen?
How about an empty dresser drawer? Just
Not a chest of drawers, but an empty...
just a drawer.
A drawer. That's great.
It's shopping carts.
Sure.
How?
No one knows.
It's the middle of the highway in the middle of the state.
That is true. I hadn't thought about it.
Just keep tabs on what you see on the side of a highway.
We'll be going back in a couple weeks. Big Dingle week coming.
Oh, yeah. How's the swing?
Just want to... I say nothing. What's Coach say? I say nothing. I just tell the fellas you better be out there on the mats. Better be...
Hard to get out on those mats.
Well, all the wet fronts? Oh, you mean playing? Well, that's... I might need to ramp back the endorsements. I'm just not going to say the name of the place anymore because we went for the Firecracker. Firecracker Open, much discussed, July 3rd. The fellas make the trek, arrive at the place.
Way too early.
That was the problem. The tee time was in the midst of the dew sweepers.
Because of one guy.
That's true. Who didn't post?
Cade did.
Who's the number one dew sweeper? Kubek?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one. He was
10
the one.
10 a.m. Got to be there.
Yeah, guess who else is there? The dew sweepers and Meemaw and Peepaw with a couple of youngsters. And by the way, this is a great place for anyone to play. And if you're a youngster, you're going to learn. That's a great place to learn. Par 3 is the perfect place to learn.
No doubt.
But not for nothing. When you got 40 on the tee box and you're teeing up every swing and it takes 20 minutes to play a 100-yard hole, how was my mood described to you by the others that were there?
I confirmed with multiple sources that were on the ground with you, and I think the word was just hot. And not temperature hot because it was hot out, but there was a boiling sense where my man got to the point, and I think the quote was, "I'm not doing this."
And I didn't.
Did the group in front of you ask you to play with them?
They did. I just want to say to those fellas who, by the way, said they were there because they heard about us talking about it. They invited me. They said, "Would you like to play with us?" And I said, no, I would not. Not because they didn't seem like a great fivesome. I'm sure that those guys look like us 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 20. But I came to play with the group, Firecracker. The problem was our group was going to be an hour away from the tee, even as we stood on it. And so it was suggested by one of the group that getting out of the car, my quote was, "I'm not doing this." And I was hopeful that it'll start moving. But then when the one youngster was teeing it, and again, 20 minutes for one group to play a 100-yard hole, kind of a lot. And I'm thinking maybe we could sneak off 10. We're going to move at a rapid pace. That was not in the cards for that day. So we and unfortunately I was a bit of a Pied Piper because I said I'm not doing it, and then everyone left.
Yeah. They
could have stayed. So I'm sorry for those that would have stayed. I didn't mean to start a groundswell, but that was a tough one.
Irate, I think, was the word used also.
I would say more. I know me. Irate is. I was not internally. I was just simmering.
Bubbling.
I was bubbling. I was simmering. Because I love that place and I love playing with my friends there. And I left my family group who was at the beach to go do this. And now we're not going to be able to. And I was irate when I turned back around and was in the godforsaken traffic from where we were to try to get back. Something must be done about that stretch of road. What is it called? Coastal Highway?
Yeah.
It is a catastrophe. It is a snarl of strip malls and outlets and Rehoboth's here and Dewey's here, and there's too many fucking lights and there's too many people, and it's just untenable. Then I was irate. Irate's
the word.
Simmering, bubbling, irate. That was July 3rd. Firecracker Open canceled. Not postponed, not to be played later. Canceled. So
it was just great because confirming with my sources, I got them through the course of the day. There was beach. I was on the beach with the fam. So then
and it's always great when the big man's heckling you from, come on down. Got some prime real estate here on the beach.
Oh,
what street? Garfield. We're at Garfield. Dickinson. Come on by. The water's great. Shut up. Who asked you? I'm irate. Sitting here at a friggin' outlet. By Crabby Dicks. The ironically, I should say, the iconically named crab outfit. Old Crabby Dicks.
That's the only way you could get there, right?
They got shampoo for that. Anyway. Whee! I was pissed. Yeah, what are the sources throughout the day? They just
it was
I'm sorry.
Some came to the beach, so I got it there.
Yeah.
Then there was happy hour. Then there was a dinner. So it was like all through the course of the day, I got each and every one of them story.
And everyone was bummed, but I was the asshole that was just furious about it. Like, but not mad at anybody.
No.
I mean, just mad at the universe, the sequence of events.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get out and play some golf.
Because your normal friend was talking to me. He's like, you've seen him at this point. I'm like, oh, yeah, I have.
I mean, I'm self-aware. I know I'm not a treat sometimes. Takes a lot, though. I don't get there. I don't get there. But if I do.
But the rest of it was incredible. The fourth there is unbelievable. I mean, the weather was perfect.
It rained a ton, but then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the just Chamber of Commerce. And this is down in, by the way, for those listening anywhere other than our little neck of the woods. It's great little beach towns. You were in Dewey.
Yep.
My family was in Bethany Beach. And we had fireworks right at the end of the street where we are. Incredible. Dewey, same deal.
On the Bayside by the Hyatt.
But you're in a very I'm interested in this because Dewey Beach was legendarily like a town for post-college, 20s and 30s. You get these flop houses. This is back in the day.
Oh, there's no more of those.
And the town is graduated, and now all those people that should have aged out of being the people that go get wrecked all day, they don't. It's just become a town of olds mixed with the youngs that now are doing it. And you take the fam, but it works.
It's the bet. We literally B-meet Wednesday night, drove over, worked perfect, left at
how'd it go?
Win.
Have some. Who'd you beat?
That was Potomac. We'll get to we're doing some things in the pool. It's
times.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
Progress. Little one. In it.
There we go.
In it.
Got a taste of it.
You know, the A meets are 8 and under. The old B meets, we get to the 6 and unders, and it was fantastic. We'll get to that.
Back to the
but
beach.
Yeah, no, literally parked our car at 10:45 at night, Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get back in the car till Sunday morning at 8, whatever it was when we did. We set a record. When'd you go? Firecracker Thursday. Thursday we were on the beach at 9:45 in the morning and made it to 3:30.
What time did the first child crash?
They rode it. They rode it all the way to Saturday. We got to the beach at or the little one came out of the water at 11. It was like, Daddy, you're going to be happy. I'm like, what? I have to take a nap.
We had an unprecedented move as a family. Purchased an umbrella. Needed shade.
You have to.
Well, we have never had it. We're out there baking.
But we're down. Girls got their chairs. We go 2 umbrellas, 2 chairs.
Well, we purchased one because our kids reached the point. Same day, Saturday, that morning, they were like, I don't think I can do it. When my middle guy's like doesn't want to be in the ocean, then he's tapped out. Of course, after we played mini golf, we went to the beach, and he swam until 6 o'clock.
There you go. Yeah, so it's usually always beach in the morning. Got to get a spot because it's, like, to your point, everyone's there, and we're a morning beach people. We're never really there before dinner, but even though that's an awesome time to be there, I know all the older folks like to get that with all the riffraff of the youngsters getting out of there. But, yeah, beach, and then maybe a nap, some good lunch. Places there are, like, we walk everywhere. And then, we got the pool at the hotel. So you're in it, man. And it was awesome. The 4th was absolutely spectacular. The Lighthouse, the Hyatt, Drew and his team brought back the old taco toss.
Legendary.
Legendary. Taco stands, hot dog stands, burgers, bars, band playing. And then right there, you just see the boats coming into the bayside. And never really knew how many lights were on boats. Like, before the fireworks start and it's 9 o'clock and everybody's geared up and you start hooting and hollering. Some people got some fireworks on their boat, and then boom, it starts. It's an unbelievable spectacle. And I am very fortunate because I had in my mind, I'm like, this is a godsend because now we don't have to leave. We got the pool, we got the fireworks coming, we got food, we're good to go. So shout out to everybody there. That it was a home run.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm shouting them out again. They don't need the pub. You can't get in anyway. Every table's full. We went to Blue Coast not once, twice. Incredible meals. But I observed something, and I'm curious about this, and I want to know if you do this or if you notice that your family does. You go out to a restaurant. It's time to order. You notice what people do? They point at the menu. What do you just say it? The person can't see if that says scallops. Mm-hmm. You're on the other side of the table. What are they? They know the whole menu. Every person's like, okay, and then they point at it. And once I noticed it, I was like, why do you just say what it is? But now I get that you need to remember maybe it's called something, right? Maybe you go to a place that a thing has a name or what. Okay, I get it. I just find it odd that and I watch my family. Every single person picks up the menu and they point at the thing. Look, everyone's ordering a burrata. Bring 10 of them. We don't need to point at that.
The other thing,
yeah,
you got to speak up. These people are working their asses off. Starboard breakfast, we're there. It's mayhem,
Yep.
And we're good to go. They know what they want to eat. Tell the waitress what you want. And Whitefield irritate me too because it's like, again, across the table. Oh yeah, I'll have this. Sorry, what? Just speak up. Let's be quick. Help the people out.
They're there to help you.
They're unbelievable at what they do.
Yep. I just don't get just say what it is.
Are they afraid they don't know how to pronounce something?
I don't think so. I mean, no. I mean, there were some pretty standard words, just easy to say. I just watched every single person point. I think it's just human nature. I was just curious.
My mother-in-law is the queen of it.
Pointing,
and it's what's the sweetest drink?
Flounder.
What's the sweetest drink on your menu?
Here we go.
And she'll sit away from me now because she knows I've told her that she has too many questions.
Do you have one family member that is notoriously just can't make up their mind, then want everything to be different?
Yeah,
I want you to make food that isn't listed, but I just want it.
Pasta and fries. No, they don't offer it. Can we get fries for the table? Sure, let's do that. But no, we're getting there. We almost had an instance where we didn't know what we were getting, and we got antsy, and
we don't have any problem with that.
They're not at the crab cake level yet either.
Butter pasta, adult portion. That's what Charlie said.
All of it.
Just an absolute. I texted you that night that he ate the bread. Just a loaf of it, solo. in a Hawaiian shirt. Then by the end of dinner, done, passed out. He had fell asleep at the table briefly.
I was dying to find a spot that had the old calamari because my youngest now, she saw the clip of us talking about it last year.
Calamari?
And I'm like, you liked it. And she's like, no, you just talked about it on your podcast.
The story about calamari / calamari.
We're gonna find it.
What?
Because she's gonna eat it. She likes it. And this whole notion that she's like we were making fun of her. I'm like, I want you to eat more things.
No, I got it. Thank you, by the way. I got a nice birthday serenade by the Coughlin girls. It was very kind of them. I have to share one little story. End of the day, Waves undefeated. Like, it can be difficult to get the kids to go down during the summer. There's no school tomorrow. You don't have nothing to threaten. You don't have nothing to threaten them with. You just gotta hope that the days worn them out enough that they're ready to go down. Well, at the beach, not an issue. Middle son going to sleep, and he's almost out. And when he's the sweetest child on the planet because he's very soft spoken, and his eyes are sort of going. He wants a story. I'll tell him a story, and then he says to me, "Daddy, yes, son. Do you think that Charlie's going to be a criminal?" What? Do you think he's going to be a criminal? I said, do you? He goes, I don't know. He takes stuff. It's not his, and he just doesn't listen. I'm like, he's convinced his little brother is going to lead a life of crime. And I couldn't stop laughing at him asking it because it was completely sincere. He's convinced that his younger brother is going to be a criminal. I don't know. It just tickled me. And then as I watched my littlest, I think, man, maybe could be. We'll see how it goes.
We're figuring it out.
No. We'll point him in a direction, and he's gonna. His hands are on the wheel. He'll find the right spot. But God, it made me laugh.
We made a concerted effort.
To do what?
We had to be better with towels.
Oh, I was going to ask about that.
How about the towel situation? How's yours?
Well, we've accumulated a great many, and so, and the point you made several pods ago about the washing machine, like at the house, they are never not running. It is it's a laundromat at the house, and so you got to shake out the sand, and we got
at the beach house.
Correct.
Yeah,
laundromat never stops going. We have a sufficient number, but I would suggest if it's not sopping wet and you just sort of sat on it, shake that son of a gun out, throw it on a railing, grab it tomorrow. What's the problem? It's not toilet paper.
Guess where you're putting it tomorrow again?
On the sand.
On the sand.
Thank you. Hello.
Leave it outside. You know what? Little rain helps it out. That'll get the water out. Sand.
Just shake the sand. And then again, by the way, all you're doing is laying it down and sitting on it.
I despise washing towels at the beach. It's mind-boggling to me. It doesn't
trouble me the way it troubles you, but, again.
It's absurd.
Different things make us irate.
It's absurd. You don't need to wash them.
Okay.
You're getting out of water or a shower. You're clean.
I'll say if it's sandy and gross, I don't want to get out of the water and then wrap up in a sandy, gross initially. Like, I'd prefer a dry towel when I get out of the water. Oh, were you in the water?
Oh, yeah.
A lot?
Yeah. Every day.
I was some. There were a couple days when it was ripping.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like ripping. And my little guy, aka crime boss, he there were days he was just up to his knees and he was like, nope. And then once he totally got the just duck it.
Yeah,
just hit the deck. It'll go over you. I promise.
Yeah,
and then he was in the mix.
First day, little one forgot the tactics, and I mean, dump truck flipped over and looks up at me, and the girls,
Waterworks,
sand.
Oh,
and just that face of I'm about to explode. Relax. You got sand in here. You want me to get the bucket of water? I'll pour it over your head.
The tactics.
There's tactics.
There really are.
Yeah. over or under?
Don't turn your back on the ocean. Rule number 1, because you do that thing where you get up and you wave at the people, and then it's too late because that next one's on you, and then you are in the washing machine. Tears come, or was she just?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But you know what?
Stayed in the fight.
Right back in.
That's the spirit.
Right back in.
Love it.
Then the face of child thinking they got by a jellyfish too.
Ooh,
that's not a good one.
There were jelly. I didn't.
Yeah, it's the last day.
We never had any jellies.
But it wasn't. It was I think the seeing of them. Then you get a little. I'm like, let's face. There's a lot of shit in the water, okay, and there's going to be things that irritate you. But when you get got, you're gonna know. Yes,
it will not be a maybe I got stung.
That pain sucks.
It really does, because it's a not go away thing.
No,
you can't rub it. You can't. There's something you can
really
put on.
Say urination.
I was gonna say, yeah, but you can't exactly like.
Oh, give me the Gatorade bottle.
Imagine that. You look up. Here's a little girl crying. Here's dad taking a leak on her leg. No, it'll fix the pain.
How was the real estate?
Hey, shout to both. Shout to Scrapple T and Jimmy. They were 6:30 a.m.
Wow.
on the 4th. 6:30 a.m. and weren't front row. Were not front row. Someone beat them to the punch. They went down to throw some chairs down. Now we've covered 6:30. That's what time they went down, and they laid it out. We had room because on that day the fireworks are at the end of the street where we are, and so like 3 blocks of beach are closed because you don't need knuckleheads going over there and shooting a bottle rocket in there, and then we've got a San Diego situation on our hand. Like, remember that 10 years ago they all blew up at once? So the 4th is calamity on the beach. There's like 10,000 people in like an acre. It's ridiculous. But they found a spot through the chairs. We've covered this. That may be, you may do that. Just you need to be occupying them. And it can't be like that reserved blackjack table for the high roller that no one sits at all day. If you reserve the spot, somebody sent me this on Twitter. If you go, we've covered this, don't be greedy and excessive with the amount of space in between each chair. You got 5 yards in between 5 chairs. You don't get 25 yards of beach. That's ridiculous. They should be side by side. And if you're going to claim the land, you need to be in them early. Can't be sitting there at noon and there's a... Because the person that sent me the thing on Twitter, I don't even know what beach that was, wherever the hell it was. They were giving me updates throughout the day, like 11:45. No one's been in the chairs.
Wow, that's brutal.
Then you should be literally good.
The responses were fantastic.
Yeah, people aren't about. They will not have that.
I like put signs on them and say, "Take one."
Some people said put loaves of bread on them for like. Yeah. But then the rest of the beach have to deal with seagulls. Yeah, but just again. Be reasonable. That applies to most things in life, by the way. Just when in doubt, just be reasonable.
See, the other thing that helps in Dewey is that everybody's going out till 2 a.m.
So you don't have a lot of 8:30 traffic.
No, we were pretty good. Chairs and lifeguards are at 9 a.m. Snack stand 9 a.m. We know that one. Thank you, Cirla. I don't know how many dollars my daughters gave her for snacks. And
what's the go-to?
Oh, every kind of, they have every kind of chip. Obviously no chocolate, but the new sour fruit roll-up looking things, the rainbow, you ever seen those? Then we get to 11:30, it's hot dogs.
Smashing dogs, like Joey Chestnut.
No, not like that. No, so the real estate thing, I thought people were pretty good about it. But to your point, you can't do the 7 a.m. thing and not show up till 1 o'clock, man. No, that's just, you want to talk about being un-American. That's as un-American as it gets.
I agree. I was going to say just not being self-aware. It's even worse. It's being unpatriotic. It's the 4th of July. You know? Like, this land doesn't belong to you.
Where do your fireworks go out? The Bayside?
No.
Right off the ocean? They put a barge on the ocean?
No, not even a barge. They got
on the board.
It used to be on a barge. Now it's actually set up on the beach.
Wow. See, that's what helps. In Dewey, the fireworks are in the bay. So, like, it's not, hey, we're going to stay here all day on the beach side. That helps.
Yeah, the one, like, the downside to where they are, the plus is it's literally at the end of the street. It's like you look up and there they are. So you can't beat it. But you're going to lose 3 blocks of beach on the most crowded day. And I got to say, that's as crowded as I've ever remember seeing it. And it was the perfect storm.
Friday.
Well, because it was the third. People came Thursday. They're like, we'll just take Thursday off, make it a 4-day weekend. Combination of weather.
Storm the firecracker.
God, that was tough. That was so tough. And again,
we'll be back.
We'll be there soon. I just some accommodation should be made for the group. If we're not for nothing, just we got to get out there.
I think Rory's going to have to wait at Augusta next year before the Masters. Get a lay of the land.
I would think not.
I don't think so.
I mean,
defending champion.
Seen
the trophy.
I got a couple weeks left. We'll put it out here next week.
You got to give up the trophy, or maybe you don't.
I was going to say, do I? Do I? I don't think we've ever had a back-to-back.
Can
we bang one out next week? Can you got one of you next Tuesday? Or you're going. You got to.
That's Dingo week.
I know.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here.
It's also Open Championship week. There'll be no Gordo.
Why?
Because Ofer.
He hit the double hammer in the next week, but I guess people only want majors.
5th major.
It hit it.
Listen, he's our guy. I defer to the audience. If people want, I mean, we're not giving them 20 minutes of runway to tell us Cameron Young's going to be a first-round leader again. We're all set.
And there was a Carson Young this week.
CAR.
Yeah.
Young. Back-to-back weeks of playoffs on the tour.
I was dialed in. How about Wimbledon? You been watching Wimbledon?
I'm not going to lie. I saw the Joker with a comeback.
Oh, that guy.
Absolute iron will.
And as good as Federer looked playing in his days in the all-white, that suit yesterday,
I told you at the Masters when I sat with him and I said, I told the audience, I said, he smells better and he looks, and look at him. He's impossible. He couldn't be more charming or handsome or smell good. And he won a zillion slams.
We were always traveling for the French. I didn't see much of it, but I've caught a bunch of, and we talked about how we didn't like how she handled losing to Coco Sabalenka. Oh, my Lord.
I mean, 2 things can be true. Like, that was just a shitty way to lose and lack any grace in the moment. And then you're also just a machine and you're a badass competitor.
3rd set today, 4 breaks back to back to back.
Really?
3rd set, second longest match of the tournament.
Look at Mr. All England over here.
Dude,
All England Steve.
Bring the kids to camp. Give me Wimbledon. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What else we got? Alcaraz
what's on the list
today.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Lumberjack Steve.
Hold on. Steel Timber Sports.
Pardon me.
Timber Sports.
You're the expert.
I got to.
Where were you?
I ended up in Grafton, West Virginia.
Out by Groton.
No. First off, that drive from the DMV to, let's just say, Morgantown and then south to Grafton, West Virginia. It's basically what it is. And people have told many stories. First off, I didn't know the whole drive is Maryland. There's some Cumberland.
Sure, baby.
What do we have to say? Frostburg?
Cumberland, Frostburg. That's West. That's that little bit that looks like a frying pan handle that you don't even realize is part of the state.
Correct.
Because it's not as obvious.
And as all the country roads lead to Morgantown, I'm stopping in Morgantown. I haven't been there in a while. I'm going to Kegler's. I'm getting some wings. And I hadn't – when did I go? Yeah, I didn't drive there the last time I went. But that drive, as you're coming down Maryland into Morgantown, I didn't touch my gas pedal. And I looked down, and I was going 95 miles an hour.
That seems excessive.
And then the first thing I was like, I can't imagine this in the winter. I would be deathly afraid. Got caught behind a jet wing that was getting transported a couple exits. Where the hell that was going? Got video of that thing. Two trucks had it on it, and they had to drive diagonal for like 5 miles. And it's just middle of the highway. Was that 68 I took over?
Hold on. We have diagonally aligned trucks carrying a jet wing?
When they were going around turn, they had to be in the left lane and the right lane, and you had 4 cops in front and 4 cops in the back.
So they were like Blue Angel truck drivers.
Yes.
That's incredible.
I'll show it to you. It was nuts.
You're behind that?
Yeah, for about 4 or 5 miles.
That sounds like a treat.
Yeah, it wasn't great. In the middle of, not in the middle, in West Maryland. So yeah, I got to Grafton. I went to see the F1 movie at the Great Theater in where was I? Forgot the city. Right there.
1 to 10. What do we got?
Solid sports movie. The music is terrific. Brad Pitt, the total underdog story.
1 to 10, Steve. 8.
I'll go 7.5.
Ooh, a little low.
The kid from that plays his partner, who starred in Snowfall. I don't have his name right now. He was tremendous. Acting's great, but again, the music. Don't know shit about F1, but learn. I just hope they made all the rules accurate. They made for the movie. I don't know if they're accurate in real life as far as, taking crashes and getting in the lane, whatever.
It's artistic license, it's a movie. I'm sure there's a little bit of fudging of the facts, I would guess.
So yeah, 7-time Steel Timber Sports champion Matt Koger, legend. And you want to talk about 100% man. We go to his workout facility, which is this yard in between the farms, and he's got like all the events set up. Like that's what he's like. I do some workouts. I lift weights and do some core stuff. He's like, but I got to do the event to get ready. And I'm watching. I'm like, oh my God, this man is. And it was too humid as hell. It was right before the rain, so you knew it was coming. But like he's getting up on these like he's hammering a tree, putting a plank in, getting up on that, hammering or chopping again. But I was. The artillery and the weapons he uses. I mean, good God, that the 6-foot saw. I mean, he gave me a couple cracks at it, but the way it's got all these teeth in it, obviously. Sure. But as you go down, you have to stay level because it won't saw that way.
Right. That looks like one of them jumps that when you see it, you can tell. If that thing is wobbly, it will
6 foot long.
It's not, but it ain't going to function.
2 meters.
All right, Steve. I'm sure I saw someone that suggested it, so I'm curious. As you're doing this, wielding the axe, and how would I do in the timber sport, Steve?
Dude,
not great.
No, man. I'm like the protective stuff that he gave me the chaps. I was like, thank God. And then he showed me these socks he wears. That's just it's basically like the old medieval times.
Mesh.
Iron. Fencing. Like that covers the toes.
So
because they got the underhand, which you stand on the block that you're chopping. And you have to split it. Like it's nuts, man. The balance you have to have and the accuracy.
So you could lop off some toes.
Oh, dude, easily.
No, thank you.
Then he showed me his hand. I was like, dude, oh my Lord. But I learned a ton. And those guys, they get after. Just brute strength, man.
Right.
Just throwing an axe. And then the end one, the hot saw. This saw looks like a freaking lawnmower. The way he was able to handle it. Red had an itch on his face.
Have a seat, Red.
So
sit down, bud.
It was really cool. I always appreciate West Virginia. I'm really hoping we're there for the backyard brawl. It'll be a scene. West Virginia, Morgantown now. Buildings are building all around the campus. Looks like a different place. The signage. But I've always appreciated and loved Morgantown.
And those folks have appreciated that we've talked about them and when their day arrives. But you were there in the mix. Go ahead.
It's funny. I think Scott Docterman on The Athletic just wrote a thing on rivalries in college.
Yes,
and
I saw that, like listing them.
Out of there.
I'm sure.
And he had the backyard brawl there, and I'm like, all right. And I'm talking to Matt, the chainsaw champion, and I'm like, how does it work where Pitt and West Virginia absolute hate, despise each other, but then on Sunday everyone goes to Pittsburgh?
Here we go.
And he's like, you kind of just go there and everybody's on the same page.
That is interesting. I had never thought about that.
I mean, everyone.
They look across the state line and it's like, go to hell, but then that's just the magic and the power of the Stillers.
And sure as shit, I go into Kegler's and there's two guys at the end of the bar going through the Steelers schedule. I'm like, these guys are lifers.
How are they feeling at Kegler's? Excited?
Pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
Got the Rich Rod signage up there, too. They bought back, what do they call them? Glossy helmets are back. They got rid of all the matte stuff. Get rid of that stuff. Yeah, it was a treat. And I never, like, the proximity. It wasn't, I do that. If we go back, I'm driving.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
Well done. 50 states, 50 days. Big man was in West Virginia.
I love how when we taped the promo that everyone thought that you were going to every state.
No, that's... I'll tell you the state where you can find me. Delaware. I'll be in Delaware driving home through Felton. Might catch me up in Massachusetts in August. We'll be on an island.
Brasillo, Vineyard?
Ack.
All right.
We'll be in Ack at some point. But, it's sort of not doing a lot for a little bit.
I'm headed down to a little treat, Lake Martin, Alabama.
What's
tomorrow? Guys trip. We pick a spot every year, somewhere different in the country. Got a lot of intel.
Lake Martin.
Watch out.
Prepare.
No golf, just the boys.
All right.
See how big we can get that fire pit going.
I bet you can get it cooking.
Yeah, we'll be there, though.
I'm sorry, the guy's name again, the timber champ?
Matt Koger.
Get Matt to send you some firewood.
Wood? Oh, my God.
He's got plenty of it.
He sure does.
Get you some kindling, chuck it in the fire pit.
Some newspaper.
Gas it up like the old grill back in the day.
No charcoal grill.
I'm joking.
No charcoal. Yeah.
What else is on your list here? Have you started to sort of like, I'm sure you have, like it's early July, just like college football prep, like in terms of where you are with that, getting the intel together, the 1s and 2s, depth charts, things of that nature. Game. Yeah. You're in it?
Yeah. It's fascinating, man.
There's storylines aplenty.
Yeah. I also waited 25 minutes until the game was ready yesterday. Sat at my TV, bought it, downloaded it, and it was probably 11:43, and it was live at noon. And there's a countdown clock until you can play. And I watched that clock go to 0 and fired off a season. And to your point with storylines,
Steve's already played a season of the college football game.
Got beat in the national championship. But I took over because in this world, what I learned to do, and if you want, like you love fantasy because it helps you keep up with the sport, right? And what I did was like, all right, I'm just going to take a team I'm fascinated by that I need to know the personnel. So I took the boys in Lubbock. I'm like, I'm going to do a season with Texas Tech because everyone talks about how the NIL's rocking. Plus, I saw they throw the tortillas on the game. So I took them over and did a season yesterday. And the game is fantastic. We went, oh, God, what's the name of our offense? Power spread? I forgot what it was. But the lot more options. You know what they got? Our favorite play is when you go 2 back in the backfield and they fake to 1, but the 1 leaks out.
Yep.
They got that in there.
Well, I was told some intel from sources that they added 3,000 more plays.
It's awesome. Graphics obviously are incredible. There is this one thing that happens a lot. And we went undefeated, got beat by Penn State in the national championship game in the Orange Bowl, and it was raining. 38-35. Couldn't stop them. So defense is still an issue. But it's
never been a strength in Lubbock.
No. But I'll tell you right now, they got some boys. They got some speed. And their schedule only gets harder. They're gonna be everybody's favorite darling at the beginning of the year. Now, can they continue it? We'll see.
So what we're in review, this section of Steve talking is him telling you about a season he's already played in a day of the new EA 26 video game, where he's learning the personnel of Texas Tech, which, by the way, actually makes a ton of sense because you get an idea of who's who and what's what. Now, fan bases on the chat boards everywhere are always pissed because so-and-so is a 78, but how could you rank them that? You always have a little bit more of a sweet tooth from your players than the people that are doing the video game. That's just how it goes. But still, I do think you can learn about it. It's interesting that it's Penn State that won the title. When I was down at the beach, guy behind me in line, in a gas station, wearing a Penn State hat. And I said, "Can I ask you a question?" "Yeah." I said, "You an Aller guy?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." I said, I got it. I said, "You know," I said, "it's interesting." I said, I always thought Clifford kind of got a bad rap, you know? I felt like he was better than you guys. He couldn't win the big games. And I was like, "Yeah?" I was like, "So how's Aller done in the biggest games?" And then he's like, I was like, "See what I mean?" So I listen, I think he's excellent, but like, how's he done against Ohio State? Hadn't beaten him. A year ago against Michigan and Ohio State, not last year, but 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I get it. You beat SMU and you beat Boise, and he wasn't it wasn't like he was lousy against Notre Dame at all. Just made a mistake late. And I don't think the last thing you saw should be how he's remembered. I just think it's interesting that this team that brings back a ton and is going to be ranked preseason what?
I think 1.
And that's totally reasonable.
No doubt.
I just find it interesting how the rep that he arrived with, that he's going to be the guy because he's going to be different than the guy we didn't like because he couldn't win the big game. He hasn't done it yet or hadn't won the biggest game. I think it was excellent against Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. They just couldn't get stops, right? So it was just interesting to see, and just one guy in a convenience store line just having a conversation. But I think that's how he does this year will be a gigantic talking point before the season begins, and then once they start playing, because they're loaded and should absolutely be expected to be a playoff team, but he's going to need to be the guy at some point to be the reason they win a big game, right? And with two-headed monster they got running the football, they still got both those guys. Don't they?
Yeah.
I thought so. I was told by my video game source they've got stuff in their playbook where you put them on the field together.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a chore in real life or in video games. Maybe he doesn't have to be the reason they win games because you've got so much. But I would think at some point, it's time for him to be the guy that leads him down the field on a drive, throws a touchdown pass or whatever, and then absolutely realizes the sort of vision that everyone had when he came in for why he was going to be different than his predecessor. This is just me being a Sean Clifford fan.
No, it all makes sense because I think they totally just copied what Ohio State did the year previous. Kept their guys they wanted in-house, right?
Find out what the number is. What are we going to need to pay to keep you? And can we raise that dough and run it back? And largely they did.
Yep.
Now, you couldn't keep Abdul Carter because, I mean, there's levels to this.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, that guy's going to be a monster playing on Sundays for the Giants. So you don't keep him. They didn't keep everybody. They lost a couple of guys that could have stayed. But largely, that core is there.
Yeah. And when you look at them, they have plenty of guys on defense, and they lost you guys to the draft, to your point, with Abdul Carter. And when we were there for the Ohio State game this year, there were already talks. Like they tore the press box down. They figured out where and when their money was going to go. and they knew that they were going to be keeping everybody, and this was going to be the time. So, I mean, the other problem is, you have these Penn State people, and it's been the same thing over and over, right? And it just goes back to the coach, and that's their excuse now. I'm like, well, he's built everything here.
Right, there's only really one thing left to do.
Why you're not the teams that have won the national title, and now he's gone about his ways.
Well, hold on now. Like Ohio State people wanted their guy out too.
No,
and then they beat who they beat. And as we said on the field in Atlanta, winning a gold trophy is more important than winning those gold pants for beating Michigan. But it's the same thing, same kind of thing.
And I just, like the Ryan Day thing, all that. Who are you getting?
Right. That's always my question. It was my question when the Knicks, Mike Brown's their new coach. Like, you fired Tibbs for Mike Brown. Okay. But if all those Penn State fans, and we may or may not work with one, wink, wink, that, not so sure about your head coach. Be careful, because this guy's won a ton. And I should correct myself. I say Aller hadn't won a biggest game. Beat Stanford Steve yesterday. Beat Texas Tech. How was Aller in that game? Couldn't stop him?
Fantastic.
There you go. See?
There you go.
Could be a little bit of sort of foreshadowing.
Just don't know why he wouldn't go to the Manning camp.
Him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
2 years in a row.
Everybody does what they want to do.
Weird.
Who's the best quarterback coming back? No, stop. Who's the quarterback right now that you go, I trust the most? You have an answer for that?
Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik. You and me both.
Yep.
We had this plain talk at some point when we were flying around. You and I had this conversation about Arch Manning.
Yep.
And Texas is going to be preseason number small, whatever number it is.
Might be one.
Them, Penn State, either or, that's fine. I don't have any problem with either one. But Arch Manning is being given greater belief than I can ever remember anyone who I haven't seen do it ever. I mean, Klubnik, saw him do it against Texas. He was really good in that game in Austin. We've seen Aller, and I explained my viewpoint, which I think you share, of who he's been to this point. But he's been a starter on a big-time team for a few years in a row here. Like, Arch is this guy who, because his last name's Manning, and he's highly regarded coming out, and then he goes to Texas, he's known about a lot. But if he was the guy, like last year, when there were times when, by the way, Ewers was supposed to be a guy too, and then there were times when maybe he kind of reached in games, like he bursts of greatness, and then he'd have a quarter where he'd be kind of ordinary. Manny would have gotten more than like that one run against Ohio State and like the one snap. I think that was the one play he had.
Mm-hmm.
Am I off base here? That if he had that much juice, at some point you get a possession, or maybe Sark just felt like, if I do that, it's because of who he is, it creates too much problem. I don't know that part of it. I just think Arch Manning may very well be who he's suggested to be. But if he is, we just haven't seen it yet, because he really hadn't played a ton.
Yeah, and then when you ask the question, who do you trust the most? Because I haven't seen it with Arch. Now, I will say this. Everyone at Texas was on the same page. They knew.
Including Manning.
Correct. The team.
That's important.
The locker room.
Yes.
The whole thing. And then we get to College Station for the winner goes to SEC Championship last year, and they're like, it's coming. It's coming. Talking to guys like, we got the packages ready. The package is ready. Comes in, rushing touchdown. They go up 7-0. I don't think they ever lost the lead. It was tight, but they never lost the lead. They had that crowd controlled. And they made the plays with their defense to be in that game. They were down a left tackle. I think there's a lot of instances where they had injuries on the front line, and Quinn was was the guy. Now, when did he come back too soon? I don't know if he will ever say if he was 100% healthy when he came back. So yeah, the window was always, if he was that good, why isn't he playing? But I don't know. I'm not at practice every day. I'm not in the locker room, but I will guarantee the team was on the same page. And knowing what Sark has done as far as quarterbacks and losing people and injuries, I mean, he walked in the day after was it Jalen Waddle got hurt, and he walked in, and Nick told him, "Hey, Jalen's out for the year." He's like, "That's fine. Devontae's going to win the Heisman Trophy," and they went through it and got it done. Like he's been through it, and
I trust him
exactly.
I trust Sark implicitly. So to the point you're making, go ahead.
And that's the thing is I trust Sark.
Okay,
but when people are going to throw around best quarterbacks coming in to the college football season, I'm not mentioning Arch.
Well, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that there's so much talked about what Texas is going to be, and that is presuming that he is the guy that he's been talked about being since he was in high school. And he very well may be. I just think that as I start diving in more and reading more, it's amazing how many teams don't have an incumbent at quarterback.
No,
Clemson,
the script is flipped from last year when everyone was going with the transfer. Now you got all teams that have their guy.
And it's guys who've been in the program.
Correct.
And I prefer that just because I'm old school enough where I kind of like the fact that there's some continuity within your program. Somebody that you went out and got, you invest the time, the resources in making them the player. And hey, here's your chance for a lot of different quarterbacks across the country to be that. But nobody's wearing a bigger bullseye than Manning. Saw like Feinbaum said he's going to be the best college quarterback since, like he said, Tebow or something. I'm thinking, well, how the hell do you know that? You might think it if you do. I just don't know what you think it. What's the reason why you think it? But look forward to finding out the answers when we do. He did play. I mean, I had a ton of touchdown passes. It was against like what, Colorado State or something last year. I think I had Colorado State in winners. That was not the right side.
He won Texas's first SEC game.
Did he?
Mississippi State.
Langa. They weren't great last year.
No,
Not great in Stark Vegas, but
no, I got to find a way to that Clemson LSU game that starts.
Pretty sure you know what to do.
Figure some things out.
Up on the bird.
I mean, we got plenty. The other team I think that is very polarizing is Notre Dame. I believe if they beat Miami, they'll go undefeated. They're built.
Can you say that about Clemson too?
Yeah.
If Clemson beats LSU, they go undefeated.
Hmm?
If Notre Dame beats Miami, they're going undefeated.
I believe so. The one guy that could have a say and that nobody has talked about and showed some brilliance last year, and they are working it in this offseason with recruiting, is Marcel Reed at Texas A&M. I really like that kid. And, you thinking about some places that he had to go and win. South Carolina on a Saturday night, Texas with all that was at stake. I think he learned a lot about themselves. I love Mike Elko, but Texas A&M, you look at their schedule, they have plenty of opportunities to be, and they go to Notre Dame like week 4, I think, week 3. That's a monster game.
Well, if Notre Dame beats Miami, it's not a monster game because they're Notre Dame. We already know they already won that game.
Hey, it's preview magazine time too.
Well, right. We're talking about doing the prep. Like when I say I'm going to do the prep, I need someone to do the prep and help me read.
But you could read.
Right, I'm going to read their prep.
There you go.
By me prepping, I mean read someone else's prep. You got some help?
Should be getting them soon. Brett Ciancia, Pick 6 previews will be out shortly. Check it out. Pick 6 previews. It's the best. The best thing that I go to.
That was the one you gave me last year that I asked you about. I'm like, what was it again? Because I wanted to go back to it. Because it's like, I'm not going to cast aspersions to those others, but
no.
This is red meat for college football fans.
There you go. The best.
You know what you could do with red meat? Put it on the grill.
Do you want to know the teams that went to the playoff in my season?
I'd love to know that. Again, Stanford Steve, one day in, has already played a season. The playoff teams in that season.
Yeah.
Were
Navy.
anchors away.
Watch out.
Okay.
Good schedule.
All right.
American.
Who's in it?
Texas A&M.
Okay.
Ole Miss.
Okay.
Miami. Texas. Clemson. Arizona State. Notre Dame.
Penn State.
And then the 4 byes were me in Lubbock, Georgia, Duke, and Penn State.
Duke had a bye into the playoff. So Duke and Navy are playoff teams.
Yes.
Okay. No Illinois, no South CAC, no Iowa. Some of these teams that you see people talking about, maybe.
Nope. And Dabo left to take the job at Alabama. Sark left to take the job at Michigan.
Mayhem in college football.
Timmy Chang left Hawaii to go to San Diego State.
Go get him.
Josh Wilcox left Cal to go to Utah. And where's my guy?
Did Whittingham retire?
Yes, he did. Quentin Joyner, running back, Texas Tech. Rushed for 1,700 yards.
Heisman?
Yeah. And Doak Walker. They got some guys that got some juice.
Okay.
So all eyes are on Lubbock. I just got to figure out who the next team is for tonight. Who should I go with?
Who's one of these teams that you think is interesting? Notre Dame.
That fight song.
I wish people that were listening could see the face Steve made when I suggested that team.
Speaking of.
Like I asked him to eat deviled eggs.
Speaking of.
Yes.
In real sports.
Okay.
The Dodgers and Phillies are going to be the bane of my existence.
Why?
They're not getting out of the way.
Nope. You're going to have to deal with them.
Dodgers don't have a starting pitcher, and the Phillies just eat innings with starting pitching.
Wheeler.
Unbelievable.
What is it, like a month and a half of just...
Former Met.
Yeah,
hey, do you remember the numbers you had on DeGrom in 2018 and 2019? Because I'm tired of this Paul Skeens talk.
I don't have him in front of me, but DeGrom, his ER, he was like 10-9 or something.
Sub 2 ERA or just over 2?
Yeah, the ERA. Here, we're going to pull him up here right quick. 2018.
1.7.
His ERA was 1.7, and his record was 10-9. So I had the record. Yeah, we had it right. Yeah, 10-9 with a 1.7.
I don't want to hear the Skeens stuff.
I agree. People's prisoner of the moment has only gotten it's not just gotten worse, it's gotten exponentially worse. Like people's inability to remember anything that happened 2 minutes ago is just, I don't know. It's just kind of what things are. I mean, Skeens is awfully good. But by the way, DeGrom's 38 and he's still an absolute monster.
He's 38 years old?
I believe.
Can you go up to his age?
You're on the page. We're on the we got 37.
Wow. Watched him pitch last night.
Beg your pardon.
Didn't have his A stuff against the Angels.
They didn't give up hits against the Orioles. I went to the
Nats.
I went to the Nats game and he
didn't
give up runs. Then
7.
he faced the Orioles and no hit them through like 7 some odd innings.
Are you tapped out on baseball?
Nope, because the Orioles are 9 games under 500.
Big series Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday here.
Correct. I'm not. I'm hanging on by a thread to
There we go.
The most dangerous thing a man can have, and that's hope. That's Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne. Go ahead,
all right.
Sonny. Stamp your form.
Would you rather?
I don't give a shit. Yeah, what?
Would you rather talk about NBA Summer League or the Banditos?
They lost to Mexico in some kind of cup.
Yeah, they don't have any players, though.
Yeah, they're all in Europe. I'd rather talk about NBA Summer League than that.
It's never anyone's fault.
Oh, no. It was always the coach's fault. And then when we get Jurgen Klinsmann, now we're going to be good. Oh, for the first time in my life, your life, or anyone's life, we're going to be a really good team in soccer? No, it's his fault. Oh, it's Berhalter. It's his fault. Maybe we're just okay at this. Maybe that's it. How about a century's worth of evidence? No? I'd rather talk about Summer League.
Yeah.
How about the Wizards? They got like 7 first-round picks on their Summer League roster. I'm gonna do? You know what? I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I'm going to be a Wizards fan. You know what I'm going to do?
Come on.
I'll forget I ever said it, and then I won't be.
Plenty of room.
On the bandwagon?
Yeah.
Oh, I understand that.
Come on. They posted a number for over-under.
My basketball
Do you know what it is?
affection is spoken for. Shout out to College Park. What's the over-under?
19.5.
Not a lot. They play 82, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a low number.
Goal's the play-in game.
What?
Goal.
So the team with an over-under of 19.5, you're suggesting could make the play-in game.
I'm saying that's the goal.
And I'm saying they're not going to attain that goal.
All right.
You just worry about picking a team and running a season.
Speaking of, I saw you on a whiteboard.
Yeah,
What's going on there?
I misspelled a word. It was actually really cool. Coach Buzz Williams asked me if I would come to visit with his team yesterday, and I said, of course, I'd be honored to do that. And the whole thing was about the idea of preparation, the importance of preparation. And so I just shared a bunch of different sort of stories of observations like how I saw Tiger Woods prepare and how I saw Shea prepare and sort of how regimented like what he did was. And I got quotes from Jordan, Kobe, LeBron on how they prepared, just to try to explain to them just like how that's like the most important thing any of us do is think about like, you know, what you're great at. The reason you're such an asset to your show on game day and on our show is you're always prepared. And so anyway, I went through all those different things and shared some thoughts about the show I've done and what we do and how I try to, you know, prepare for what it is we do, et cetera, et cetera. And then I just shared this thought that, you know, that my grandma always shared with me, which is the idea of today is a blessing. What are you prepared to do with it? And so I wrote it out. And what I always said is when I was little, I always thought it was like the focus is today is a blessing, which it is for all of us. But then when Coach Buzz asked me to come do this, I looked at that and I thought, you know what, really, this is asking you a question, and it's what are you prepared to do with it? So I wrote it out, and then I looked up at it. And somebody put it on social media like, you weren't prepared. I spelled prepared wrong.
Oh,
so shitty job. It was a typo with my hand typo. But I don't want that to obscure the idea of the message, which is I think everyone can ask themselves that. Just, are you prepared to get the most out of the what you get, which is today, right? Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow we don't know if we're here, but we're here right now. So what are you going to do with the day? And it was just really, really cool. I got to see the way Coach Buzz connects with his players, and it's really something. And you get it when you see it. You're like, oh, this is why his guys have such an affinity for him.
Yep.
So seeing it, and you know what that's like, because you see a different person in that room because he's with his team, and I was fly on the wall, lucky to witness it. So, really, that was a blessing just to be asked. And I explained to them. I said, you know, when I all my life, I just figured I'd age out of like being as invested in Maryland basketball, but it's actually maybe worse now. So I need you guys to act accordingly next season. Keep in mind, you got an old man out there riding and dying with what you guys do. But anyway, that was I compared it to like giving a commencement address. You're talking to young people and you're hoping you can give them something that has some value. And to me, that's actually stressful because like when I've given a commencement address, I'm thinking there's some kid that's an astrophysics major that's looking at me and going, what does this dumb fuck that does highlights know about anything? Well, actually, maybe a little bit of something that you could take with you.
Yeah.
And these guys are, you know, high achievers playing high-level D1 hoop. What do I have to offer? Well, I mean, I've seen it. I've had a pretty close seat, and I have a decent idea of what goes into being successful. And so it was, as I say, it was a treat to share that, and that's why I was on a whiteboard misspelling a word.
Oh, you're gonna get some plays going.
Yeah, no, I don't think my device, I don't know what the deal is. I don't think I can get it on my system until Thursday.
Oh no, I was saying for the hoop team.
Oh, I'm going to let Coach Buzz draw that up. Oh. Just make your fouls. Drop some threes, make your fouls, box out. I'll do this. I'll be this guy on a free throw. Hey, thanks for doing that, Coach. I wasn't going to box out. Totally slipped my mind if you didn't give me that. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I have
one more.
The guys at PGC basketball is going through summer league. Awesome out of bounds play, elevator slob. I'll show it to you.
All right.
See it? Really good.
Elevator slob. Okay.
See the side OB?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We got to put this
Coach,
out for
we
the
got
people.
you.
All right.
I got it.
We'll send an elevator slob over to CP.
One last one.
One last one.
This was the team I was thinking about playing with today.
Okay.
Auburn.
Who's your quarterback?
Jackson Arnold.
The guy from Oklahoma. I don't know, man.
People are really upset, and I can't wait to go down and talk to people going down to Lake Martin, Auburn country. People are mad that Hugh Freeze is playing too much golf. See, like there was a picture like from May. He won a tournament, and he had it, so like everybody's mad. Should be out recruiting.
They say recruiting's like shaving. If you don't do it every day, you look like a bum.
He's done well in that facet.
Understand? Folks down on the plains, they want a winner, baby.
Yeah.
That's interesting on Arnold. I don't know. I admit that I allowed that Tennessee game because it happened early, and then their season got sideways, right? Tennessee game was in Norman.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee. I thought you were talking about Auburn.
No, I'm talking about Jackson Arnold.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
I allowed that because their defense was insane that
Unbelievable.
night.
It was hotter than hell.
And I kept thinking, man, and then their season wasn't great. Fresh start, probably the best thing. Go down to Auburn, and if we get damn Hugh Freeze off the golf course, we might have a chance. War Eagle. War damn Eagle. Play Auburn. Take him to the playoff.
Because the game that first weekend is Auburn at Baylor.
At Baylor. That's it's going to be the surface of the sun temperature in Waco. Is that a night game or a day game?
Friday night.
Well, then it'll be fine. It'll be just humid.
Waco. Humidities.
Ooh, I've been down there. What did I do? Why did I go down there? I did a piece on something.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Waco.
There you go. Sick and Bears. Steve's going to go play another season. I'm going to go get out on the mat in the heat of the sun and do what champions do. I'm going to prepare. Because I shout out to my guy AT, Alex Tucson. How you prepare is how you play. How you play is how you win. So I got to go prepare.
Yeah, I got to prepare where we're going to stop the boat. Find some establishments.
You travel safe. Send my regards to the boys. That's a really cool thing that that this is a core group of guys that, you know what, you get the kind of thing that you write on the whiteboard. Like I had a friend of mine send me a text this morning. He said, "I never heard you talk about this like this." And I said, I really do believe the older you get, the more perspective you have on just on life, and the more appreciation you have for it, because you just recognize there ain't as much runway as there once was, right? And the boys that are here, and not all of the boys are still here, sadly, get together and celebrate what this is.
Yep.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. Like those days are blessings too. So I know you're prepared. I know you're prepared to make the most of those.
Yeah.
All right. You travel safe. We'll hunker back down this way this time next week.
Dry your towels. Don't wash them.
I'm not with you on that one. Get a fresh towel. Ain't that big a deal. We'll do another load of wash.